Marianne, I saw you had put a couple of things in the chat. Did you want to ask the questions?
No, it wasn't.
Yes, I tried Newsela because I used to use it at school. But when I called the company because I tried to access it, they said I could only access it through the school district. So do you have another way of accessing it, another code to get in, or do you have a some kind of a password that you? I love Newsela, but I can't get into it. Through this organization, I wasn't able to get into it. So I don't know if it was just me, but I know I had access as a teacher in LA. So that
I don't even know what Newsela is. Sorry.
Newsela is wonderful. What you do is you put in a topic that you're interested in. It's basically like scientific, historical, and they're short articles. You could pick what level you want to read, and then they have comprehension questions, they have vocabulary, and it's short passages. So when you do screen share, it's really easy to put it up on the screen and then they can read it with you. But it's the same article and you can do a second grade version of it, third grade, fifth grade, sixth grade version so that the person can actually read it. And I find with at least the two of the three I have, they like reading aloud. So we were reading, we did a crossword puzzle on Christmas terms. So I read with them the night before Christmas. It was hysterical. They really liked it. And then we did, they never heard of the 12 days of Christmas. So we did 12 days of Christmas. We did the YouTube version of it. But Lainey, just so you know, I changed from Zoom to Google Meet, and it is wonderful. It is so much easier. I don't have to deal with the 40 minutes and then it crashes on me. I have one code for all three people. It's wonderful. Once you get into it, I'm really enjoying that. So anyway, and then a simple dictionary. If somebody's aware of like a dictionary, one of the students on Wednesday, we got into this discussion about the difference between nasty and naughty. And I was at a loss is trying to figure out how to define them so that he's looking them up on a dictionary, trying to read them to me. And I said, but we've been getting into quite a few, these people that I have are very smart. They're all highly educated. So he gets into these discussions of these words and I'm trying to get into the connotation of them. So we're looking at the definition, but I said, no, that's not exactly what it means. And so I was wondering if somebody was aware of any kind of a resource that had more of a connotation, not a dictionary definition, but more of a connotation, because we spend 10 minutes on nasty and naughty, me trying to figure out how to explain it.
Marianne, I've had a lot of luck when I was a teacher using the whole series, the dummy series.
What is that?
English for Dummies, Spanish.
Yeah.
Bridge for Dummies, algebra for dummies.
I know. Now I know what you're talking about.
At giving you those type of how language is, used, the different, connotations, like you were saying. So
that's a good one.
But that was, I retired 6 years ago, so. But they're still there and they're all in the public library. You can find most of them there.
Oh, thank you. That would help.
I mean, maybe, yeah.
Well, because I was trying to do that and then the stupid crossword puzzle, then I'm running around trying to find pictures of mistletoe because they didn't know what mistletoe was. Then I'm in the refrigerator getting eggnog. Then he wants to give the eggnog to his kids. And I said, you can't give them this one. It's got brandy in it. go to the dairy. So then I pick it pictures of eggnog from the dairy. So it's been actually kind of fun because I thought I was very literate until I have to try to explain stuff. And then it's like, oh my gosh, how do I explain this?
That's
But-
really funny, Marianne. The you can get the thesaurus online, so it will give you synonyms and antonyms at least. That might
those
help.
those are hard too,
Yeah.
because we did do that. I give them homework. When you were talking about keeping them engaged, I made it very clear from the beginning what my background was. So I probably scared them. And then I said, you know what? I said, this is a volunteer thing. I don't mind doing it. I like doing it. But I said, I am not one that's going to play games getting online and you're not there. So if you can't make it, I need an email the day before that you can't make it, and then we'll make arrangements for the next week. But I've been assigning them homework, and actually they like it. I could send them certain worksheets, and I go, just do as much as you can, just review it, and then we'll go over it together. And that has, number one, I think made them feel that it's a little more serious than just we're playing games. And then the other thing is, it also opens up a lot of conversation. Some of the stuff, they'll, like the one student, we've been doing inference, and he wants more of these inference papers. I'm looking all over the place for inference because I'm trying to find simple vocabulary, but it's kind of interesting. They actually like it, but I just give them a little at a time.
Marianne, I'm curious, what did you make up your own worksheets and then put them on Google Docs, or did you
I
find
found them
worksheets?
online. I went online with them. It's through an educational program that I used to use in school. So I got them online, and then I just do screen share. So I download it, I send it to them. I tell them there's no stress, just look it over, see what you can figure out. And then you tell me the next meeting what you needed help with. And they kind of like it. So, but it's easy because with the screen share, then we just go over it together.
Would you be able to share that with me? Like if I gave you my email, I would love something. When I went to the Torrance library, I was so overwhelmed. I checked out like 12, books, worksheets and.
Oh, you know what? It's education.com.
Oh, perfect.
I paid for it. I had a subscription when I taught, and I loved it. And then I just paid for another subscription for the year. I think it's $100 or $100, but for me, it's just so easy because then when you're talking about active and passive voice, it's right there. The worksheets are very simple. It's not a lot of, it's short. It doesn't have the grade level on it. So, but I did synonyms, antonyms. One of the ladies were working on prefixes and suffixes.
Okay.
And so I was trying to figure out how to download it that they could write on it directly, do a digital copy, but I'm not there yet. I'm just grateful that I figured out how to get online and screen share.
Thanks. So Lainey or Maureen or anybody, does the South Bay Literacy Council have any access to things like that?
One of the things I want to throw out there is make a trip to our office, because we have tons of, and you're welcome to check it out. No time limit on it. Also, I've gotten a lot of donations of materials you could give your students, but some from Barnes and Noble. But anyway, but go to the office. Also, Aaron, is Aaron on? He has sent in the past a whole lot of online resources, and he's put a lot of the resources from the Torrance Adult School. They've given us access to their stuff too. So if you shoot an email to technology, to to Aaron. Do you have, does
Yeah,
everybody here?
he did have a presentation for us, the new.
Great. Good.
Right.
Yeah,
And
go
there is
back to
quite a
that.
lot of resources that he's put on the website as well. Also, I'm looking at the chats and somebody asked about the Pro Literacy Education Network URL. Of course, obviously, you're going to get it when Lainey sends out the presentation that I did. You'll get it when Lainey sends out the notes for today's meeting. But I will be sure to let Aaron know that he can to add this URL onto our website as well. So you can access it both ways through the website, or just if you bookmark it on your computer, on your toolbar on your computer, you can have it access it easily that way.
And you kind of asked me an open-ended question there, which is hard, I think, sometimes, even though Maureen says that's the best way to communicate. You asked me an open-ended question and I might go off in a tangent, which is what I do quite often. So to answer your question simply, we do have a lot of resources. It just depends what you're looking for.
Right.
But if we don't have what you're looking for and you have something specific in mind, just let us know, and then we'll see what we can do. Or we'll ask you to look into it for us. Remember, we're all volunteers. We do not have an administrative staff like a normal business does. So yeah. So if you have something you want done, often it's very helpful if you just do it and then let us know and we'll try to share it with everyone. Yeah.
So sorry, I had a phone call. So someone mentioned about how the office has lots of resources and materials. But I noticed that we have to make an appointment to get into the office, to the library.
Yes, you do. The office is usually staffed 3 days a week.
3 days.
Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I'm usually there on Mondays and Wednesday afternoons, and Mary Nell is there on Friday afternoons. But sometimes their schedule varies depending upon the day of the week or whatever is happening in a day-to-day life situation. So the best way is to just send us off an email.
Okay.
To let you know that you're interested in coming to the office and arrange a time where somebody can be there
Also,
to let
Maureen,
you in the office. And there's two library bookcases of resources of books and materials there that you can borrow.
And also you can, all the people here on this call are active tutors. And so that office is supposed to be a resource. So, you know, it is possible also to get a key. I mean, if you think you would be going once a week, maybe, and taking books out and putting things back. Some of you are, who's there every week somehow? Could you just wave your hand?
I'm there every Friday at 10, Friday morning at 10 o'clock.
Okay, that'd be great. Okay.
All right, Carol, you had a question?
I just wanted to mention that in one of the last tutor talks we had, I can't remember which one, there is a really good link to a dictionary, some grammar, some worksheets through the South Bay Literacy Council website. And I put it into the chat, the link.
Great.
I really, really like that link. You just keep scrolling down, you find all sorts of information, videos, grammar, worksheets, dictionary, and it's all online and you can access it. It's all in the chat, meeting chat.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
And Kristen, you had a question? Kristen?
Sorry, I put it in the chat, but I had just said that Google Translate is a very effective and concise connotation dictionary, if you will. It's the best thing because the student will put it in their own language to get the gist of what it is instead of relying on their knowledge of English words to explain it. I never discourage people using Google Translate to get a concise meaning, especially the advanced people that really want to have it just right. That's all.
Yeah, I have quite a bit of experience with that Google Translate. It's not perfect, but it does get the gist across. If you use your word in a sentence, it does a lot better when it translates. The other thing I saw on Google Translate just the other day is they have if you look down in the left-hand corner, there's a little microphone and you can click on that and record yourself, and maybe it will recognize what you say. Now, it doesn't recognize my Texas accent, but it might recognize yours.
And another thing it does is, it will say it out loud so the student can listen to that word over and over. And it, oh, I didn't have enough coffee. Oh, it can also live read. If a student sees a sign on a building, they can hold their camera up and it can live translate what the sign says, like, you know, exit this way or whatever the sign is. They can do that on a page. So that's very convenient when they need something quickly. Of course, they're probably already going to know all this.
Does anybody else have anything to add? I just want to say a quick thing. One of my students wants to talk about idioms. And with Google Translate, that's a big hoot. We get a lot of laughs out of it.
Yeah. I just wanted, can I ask this, Joanne and Kevin, what did you write in there for signing up for Newsella? Did you just put in your own email?
Yes, I put in an email and they asked me for a password. They sent me a verification to my email to verify that I have the email. So I went to my email and said, click. But I haven't used it yet. So, I don't know exactly what it can do, but since you said it was so, useful, I thought I might as well sign up for an account.
Well, the other thing that's nice about it is that you could do audio. And I used to do that with my low readers. What I would do is they had to do audio first, and then we went back and we read it together. And that way they can hear it first. There are not a lot of stories. It's not, creative story writing, but it is science, like news articles. It's more like current events articles.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of websites that have audio and written at the same time. The News and Level has that too, the News and Level.
What's it called?
I was mentioned in a previous Tutor Talk, News and Level. I think that's what it's called. Is that right, everyone? For those who use it?
There's Breaking News English and
how do you
News and Levels.
Level, I think. Someone mentioned it, News and Level.
Yeah.
How's it spelled?
I haven't used it for a while because I've been doing something different now. I used to use it in the beginning with my students, but now since the holidays came up, we do a lot of holiday stuff, so I haven't used it. So it has I think it's News and Level.
I'll put it in the notes.
It was in one of the previous Tutor Talks, and that's how I found it, because they were talking about some other news website or application to buy. And someone said, oh, but we already have this one. So I went to that one. And also when I use Side by Side, the book Side by Side, they have everything in audio there too. So that's pretty useful to see it both.
Side by Side?
Yeah, I think we have a account. South Bay Literacy Council has an account with Side by Side. Pearson.com, the Pearson text. Pearson.com. You can use it for free. I mean, it's not free. South Bay Literacy pays for it, but you can use Side by Side. But it's called Pearson.com.
Email, in the chat or email what these, because these sound good. I went through all those other ones.
Yeah.
I was so overwhelmed. I couldn't figure out.
I think you can find all that stuff on the SBLC links. Tutor resources on South Bay Literacy Council. You can find all that stuff there.
Yeah, but it's nice knowing the specific one,
right?
Because I spent hours and hours flipping through all these, and some of them I just didn't feel that I just didn't feel that they were engaging for me.
Right.
I don't have.
It would be nice if
it depends on the levels of your students. I didn't use all the stuff there, but my students are kind of advanced beginners. So Side by Side is useful for them.
Thank
And
you.
user level is good for anybody, but it's kind of intermediate, more like. I mean, it's good for intermediates, but it's not too advanced. I find it was not that advanced.
Okay.
So
Thank
those are
you.
the two that you are currently using, Joanne?
I'm using the side by side a lot. For beginners, it's really great side by side. You get through it from Pearson.com. It is on the SBLC links.
Okay.
No, it's Pearson, PEARSON.com is a publishing house that publishes
Yeah.
books for English and second language.
I'll look for it. Okay.
Yeah.
And are you using anything else currently?
I use a lot of, I used to be a English ESL teacher, so I'm using a lot of my old stuff for phonics. I find that really helpful, phonics, because the English spelling and pronunciation do not match a lot of the time, too much of the time, and that is very problematic for, especially beginning students, because these don't think, like the vowels have like, most of the vowels have about 3 different sounds, and then they overlap, and so it's really confusing. I mean, to say.
Okay.
Thank you.
I will put the link to the Pearson stuff in the notes.
Okay, good, thanks.
So don't waste a ton of time looking for it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, everybody. This was a great meeting. It warms my heart to see new faces and all of the attendants. And please think about a subject for next Tutors Talk. We do it every 2 months. And I'm looking forward to seeing all of you again. Any last comments or questions?
Question. Do you have a date yet for the next Tutor Talks for March?
We do not.
Okay.
I see Marianne's looking at her calendar. We'll let you know as soon as we know.
Okay.
And
I have one other, I guess, question or request, and that is that if any of the current tutors that have had now, more experience than I have, which is none, would mind me, if they're doing a face-to-face, if I could actually attend one of their face-to-face just to get an idea of how you interact. I just, I want to be really comfortable when I do this. I mean, I'm planning on doing the Wilmington Church, but because who is it that I'm going to be with? Is it Mary?
Yeah.
Donahue? Oh, Mary
Yeah.
Billings.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So if you could just maybe leave your email or cell number with Lainey or anyone, Maureen or Sheila, I would really appreciate it.
Sure. Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you. This was very helpful. Thank you.
again, it does my heart good. Everybody stay well, and we'll see you in a couple of months.